Nobody's watching you because it's me over your shoulder. I'm looking in that little octagonal window up in your bathroom. You didn't see me. My face is there. I'm a little stalker. You didn't see me. Guess what? I'm there. I'm invisible. I got invisible powers. You didn't know about that either because you didn't do your research. You didn't go down to your library. You didn't even get on Snopes. You didn't get on Wikipedia. You didn't do your due diligence. And look at you. Now you're soiled your britches. You're scared of the voice. I am too. I was gifted by the Norse gods.
He's a freeze demon.
We're back.
Hi.
Hello.
Helltown Radio. Introduce yourselves, wonderful people.
Hi, I'm Lita. I do art stuff. Also, I'm in a competition right now. I'm going to do a shameless plug. Please go to Faces of Horror and vote for me so I could be on the cover of a spooky magazine and get some money to our community art center. That would be great. So vote for me. Please, please, please vote for me.
Yeah. All right. Vote for her. That way, too, she can buy some cool stuff for herself. But I don't know. She gets cool stuff. She's a cool chick. I love hanging out with Lita. It's a great time. My name is Chris Kenworthy. I'm also here on the Helltown Show, Helltown Radio show program. We do funny stuff here. I try to be funny here. This is my favorite time of the week, guys. This is a great time. This is my favorite time. This is one of my favorite times of the week. I get psyched on the way here. I'm like a dog with his tail wagging and shit. It's cool. I get to hang out with cool homies, catch a buzz, talk about a bunch of weird stuff, act self-important. It's amazing. It's a narcissist fantasy. But today, speaking of narcissism, no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny. Women accuse me of that. Actually.
Well, no shit.
Yeah. Well, it's not my fault.
Well,
I like being who I am.
And that's what's amazing about you, Mike, is because you are who you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here with us.
I know it's funny.
I can't wait. This is actually gonna be a very interesting show, y'all, because you look in here, you got a silverback gorilla of Gigolo here, but he's also a sensitive man. He's an intellectual man. He's done a lot of things. He has a lot of. Yeah, I know, man. I've seen.
I'm an artist. I'm an artiste.
But he is a man of many virtues. He's an artist, a writer, a yogi, musician. This dude played an 8-hour set this weekend. We're gonna get to that.
The new Saga Meadery in Luray opened
shit.
up Saturday, and I played the opening.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I only played from 12 to 7 because at 7 o'clock, both of my hands cramped up so bad that I couldn't play anymore.
Jeez.
Did you have an emergency banana?
Banana.
Emergency nanner,
they thought. Well, I gave them a real deal, so they were happy. They were okay with me taking off. It was all right. Everything was fine, and it was a nice day. People were in and out all day. It was a great opening.
Good old meadery.
Saga Meadery, who are actually here, they opened their first one here in Front Royal, but before they ever opened a meadery, they had already been manufacturing and have distributed to over 400 retail establishments nationwide, right? So they're already a nationally known brand, and they started here in Front Royal. And they're going to manufacture in Luray, and all the bottles are going to say "Made in Luray," right? So it's going to be another, attraction, to, a tourist town. I mean, that's what we live on in Luray is tourists coming through.
Isn't that where Cooter's Garage is?
Cooter's is down. Yeah, they just had their 25th anniversary, and they had thousands of people there.
That's
great.
America. You can name a place Cooter's. And
No kidding. Yeah. Well, it's funny. Now here's a very interesting fact. The place where Cooters was actually, there were a bunch of free blacks in Luray during the Civil War, and they owned the property that Cooters is on now. But they sold it. They sold it to Cooters. Good. They sold it to Cooters, and now there's the General Lee is there, with the Confederate flag on it and everything, right in a property that belonged to free blacks during the Civil
they made
War.
money. They don't care. Trust me.
They did make money. They made money. That was the thing, I mean, like they were manufacturing. They were making stuff for the rebels, and so everybody loved them, and they still love them, and they're so welcomed in the community.
Man, I heard at Cooters that if you know the secret password handshake, they let you smell a pair of screen-worn Daisy Dukes.
Nah, it's road worn John Schneider's. They give you a pair of them tight ass jeans that they used to slip on. Still got the Vaseline inside from where to chuck them bitches on.
Man, as long as it's not Roscoe's.
If you ever watched an episode of the Dukes of Hazzard and just watch them try to run, them jeans is so motherfucking tight. They is like waddling.
It's like you see smoke starts coming out, sparks, shit.
I don't know that I don't think I ever watched.
That's one show I used to watch with my dad. For some reason, that motherfucker loved that show. He was like, "They running from the police." Fuck the police.
They have to be tight so that you can do action moves and stuff. They're action jorts.
So you can accentuate your bulge.
Yeah, so you rip your beanbag in half when you try to.
You gotta be able to get up. If you have fabric flopping around, like
beefcake, right? That's
I
beefcake.
disagree.
Right?
Those pants were tighter than that. They literally look like penguins.
That's why the Shaolin. Why do you think the Shaolin monks wear harem pants? You know what I mean? Like so that way they can maneuver like that. I think.
I don't know about that.
In jiu-jitsu, I'd be wearing pajamas.
Just an experiment. Throw on a strap on and put on some tight jeans and try to do some gymnastics.
I'm pretty sure I'd like move freely. I'd be like, I feel like things would get caught up in if you put like a
they'd
t-shirt.
be freer in the harem pants.
If you put a t-shirt and a bed sheet in a dryer, like shit gets wild.
So what's your ideal fight garb?
Like close to the body. I mean, come on now. Even
Chain
superheroes like have like tight fitting.
There's a spandex though. It's
reason.
different. Spandex and denim are totally different.
I don't know.
I could go with a loose rash guard.
A loose rash guard.
I mean, I don't know. Mike's actually the expert here in being flexible. He does yoga instruction.
I am flexible. I'm for someone my age, I'm pretty flexible.
That's what I hear about you, Mike.
Yeah. Well, you have to be flexible. Flexibility is the key to successful aging. I tell this to everybody. It's not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. You have to be flexible. That's
you told me it was weed and women, you liar.
Well, I mean that's how you stay flexible, right? I'm like
umbrellaed underneath.
You told me about the sunning.
The sunning.
Sunning is the what they call it, like the shit where you put your butthole to the
rectal
sun.
sunning.
Perennial.
Yeah, perennial sunning.
No. I'm into earthing. I walk around
they
barefoot
just point their asshole at
earthing. Is that what you
like?
like?
Yeah, earthing. That's what I do.
You pop a chub and lay face first in the mud.
No. I just walk around barefoot. I walk the Greenway barefoot all the time.
This shit.
Yeah. Barefoot. Yeah, you connect to the earth, right? So you get the earth's vibrations coming up.
There's some other term for that. Grounding.
Sticking your dick.
Grounding. Yeah. Grounding. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about sticking your dick in the mud.
No.
I mean, isn't that the same thing?
I bet you there's a sex term for that.
That's called sperm worshipping Gaia, and it's very holy, and you shouldn't do it unless it's on the equinox, bro. Come on. Read your crystals.
I'm supposed to do yoga next week, and I feel like I'm gonna die because I haven't done it in like 5 years.
Nah, you'll be good.
Where are you doing yoga next week?
Not the place that. Yeah, I can't think of the name, but it's not the.
Not the name. Not
that place.
Yeah,
the other
not
place.
the unnameable.
Not the unspeakable.
No, it's supposed to be like in an eyeglass like shop or something like that's what.
It used to be a Four Eyes, now it's a Downward Dogs.
It's a Downward Dog to Brown Eye.
No, it's like an eyeglass place.
I teach at Steel Valley Fitness in Luray can we get an advertisement in there?
Yeah, dude.
Right, Steel Valley Fitness. And actually, my friend Perry, who's also, like me, has been doing yoga for 50 years and started out as my substitute right when I couldn't do it. Well, he started teaching a class there, too. So now we have classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 9 a.m. At the Steel Valley Fitness in Luray. So anybody that's listening in Luray interested in yoga class, that's where you find it.
Trying to get flexy.
Yeah. Right. Well, no, it is now I call now Perry does a different kind of yoga. He does it different every time, but I do the same routine every time, and I call it a gentle yoga, and the subtitle is maximum relaxation with every breath, right? So it's all concentrated on the breath, right? And so it's all breathing, and so I hold the postures for a long time. sometimes too long, according to some of the students. But you know,
Pussies.
So I've
I've
never done yoga.
well,
is it when it's longer? It's more strenuous.
It's more effective, actually. It's, you know, because the whole idea is you hold the posture and then you breathe and then you let the breath relax you and teach you about your body. Right? That's the way it works.
So how many different types of yoga are there?
I don't know. There's a lot of different. You know, there's like hot yoga.
Yeah. So hot yoga is the one that
Hot
I guess
yoga.
everybody. There's not. It doesn't have a name that sounds like
puppy yoga, rage yoga,
yeah.
goat yoga.
Goat yoga. All right, baby goats. Baby goats.
Is there that's really a thing? Goat
It
yoga?
really is.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
they had it right here. Well,
Holy
right
shit!
down
I
on
want
Ray,
to
anyway.
do
Like,
goat
yeah,
yoga.
yeah.
I fucking love goats.
Yeah, they have it. They had it.
I
down,
always like miss the memo. Like, that's not
Wisteria
fair.
Winery in Stanley had goat yoga just like last month, I think.
Oh my God, that would have been so awesome to
Yes.
experience. I love goats.
Yeah.
I want one so bad, but yeah, my husband said no.
All right.
He's like, absolutely.
Well, you could get
No
rid of
goat.
his lawnmower, you know.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
be
that's
like, I
true.
don't know how it got here. It's just here now. It's part of the family. Can't get rid of him.
What's
I
his
already
name?
named it. Baphomet, obviously.
Okay, I don't know.
Okay, of course. Yeah, right.
I mean, that's what I would name him. I want chickens
All right.
though too. So
So what type? So you say strength yoga? You do? Is there?
It's actually based in Hatha yoga. I've been doing like for 50 years. I've taken very few classes actually myself, but I had a lot of classes when I first started with a guy named Walt Baptiste in San Francisco who had a place down in San Salvador as well that he taught yoga. But he taught yoga, and I went there. Regularly and learned, the postures and everything, and he did the same thing. He was the emphasis was on the breath and using the breath to actually relax you. And if you hold the posture and then you breathe and you pay attention, the whole idea is to learn about your body, learn what's going on, and to observe what's going on inside your body. So with every breath and see what the breath does and see where the breath goes in your body and where the breath doesn't go in your body, and learn about your body. I mean, you really do, and get a sense of your wholeness. So. Yeah.
How does yoga and the Kama Sutra overlap? Because I know motherfucker.
Well, no, I
he knows.
Well, I would think I would imagine it would be the postures. I don't know the Kama Sutra. No,
Oh, you don't?
I
Oh, you
honestly
don't?
No,
Man, I
no.
thought you
I
would've-
mean, I looked at it, but
I skipped over it.
and I've seen that. Yeah. I flipped through it. But I would imagine that the postures, have a certain, benefit in terms of, because that's the way it is in yoga. Like each posture has a different benefit to the body in terms of what it does to the body. And so then you breathe into that posture, and you.
Is there a breathing technique to get a boner?
Well, I like
called
to use
the boner
well, I say breathe like the waves of the sea, right? Like so, breathe like in that rhythm, like so. Think of your breath as like the waves of the ocean, and breathe like the waves of the ocean, in and out.
it's like using your imagination.
And it's imagination is a
And then a
very important
mermaid
part of
shows
it.
up.
Imagination is an
Mermaid. There
extremely
you go. Mermaid.
extremely important part of it. That you can or visualizing. But lately it's occurred to me that not everybody can visualize. So I say feel what your body's doing. Feel and so get into the feeling of what your body is doing, and discover the goal ultimately is to know your own body and to and be able to do things with your body and to let your body go. You know what I mean? To surrender and to surrender. To be able to surrender. Which is an important part of yoga as well.
Yes. Very good.
Interesting.
Okay.
Are there any yoga teachers that are real militant, like almost like you're gonna do the splits right now?
You do the
'Cause
splits when you're in my house, bitch.
I'm trying to find my niche.
I don't think I've ever heard of an aggressive.
Yeah, it comes
No,
in like
but
it comes in like boots.
They do
Little
get very active though. I mean, like that. I've been to some yoga classes where I just couldn't keep up. Because they were moving through things through the posture.
Are they
so
like?
fast,
Is this something like newer? Like since like CrossFit and like interval training has come in, or are there people doing that stuff?
I honestly don't know. It never occurred to me. I never thought about teaching yoga until last summer. And last summer, I was going through my routine, that I've developed over like 50 years of doing yoga, and I said, you know what, this is good for people. This would be good to pass this on. And so this place opened up in Luray, the Steel Valley Fitness. And they were looking for a yoga teacher at the same time I was looking. In fact, it was really kind of a funny coincidence because the owner was walking out just as I was walking in to ask about it. And he said, hey, can I help you? And I said, yeah, do you have yoga classes here? He says, no, we're looking for a yoga teacher, right? And I said, well, here I am, yeah, that's what happened.
The universe
made
it fold on itself.
Yeah, that's the way it does. Yeah, right. The universe, you open yourself up to the universe and it just kind of like opens things up for you, right? Uh-oh, are we getting too woo-woo?
Oh, we're not woo-woo-woo enough, Mike.
Oh, is that right? Oh, good.
We're not woo-woo. So
well, let's see how far we can go.
Hey. Oh my goodness, this is terrific. All right, so yoga. Mike is also a very well-established musician in the area. We were talking, we talked a little bit, I think, before the show. Mike has an incredible amount of stamina behind the stick. I've seen him personally one time play a 4-hour set after playing a 4-hour set. And I mean, that just, the standing alone in one place for that amount of time is impressive unto itself, let alone having to perform.
I don't stand. I'm sitting on a stool.
Right? Sit on a stool? Even sitting on a stool, anything for 4 hours straight is fucking arduous, man. I mean, but that's fantastic. And he had done it right after performing another 4-hour set. And this weekend, you said you performed a 7-hour set?
A 7-hour set, yeah. I went for 7 hours.
A mere 7 hours, eh?
Well, see, usually when I do
soft,
that,
Mike.
when I do the 8-hour sets at the beer garden in Luray, I usually get a 2-hour break in the middle. But this
still,
one I just kept on going, and but I could only go for 7 hours, and that's when my hands started cramp up. So.
Highly impressive. How long have you been a performing musician?
I would say probably 55 years.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How'd that start?
None of us here were in existence.
No, none of you guys were alive.
So 55. And we're not gonna. I mean, you don't have to disclose how old you are, but I mean that's like.
No, I don't mind saying I'm 75 years old. I mean,
you're 75.
I'm three. Oh
my God, I thought you were like 70.
3/4 of a century old. Oh yeah.
You don't look a day over 69, dude.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right. Shit. In fact, that should just be like that should be your line at a bar if any woman ever asks you, "Hey, so how old are you?" You'd be like, "Dude, I'm 69."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Chris, I never thought.
I hope that that's facetious because I would.
No, that's not really my style anyway.
If either tragically I make it to 69 or 69 single.
It's gonna be tragic for the world if I make it to 69. They're gonna be like, "He's still here. God damn, why didn't he leave yet?"
Well, I hope everyone makes it to 69 at least. Hey, yeah, that's young,
Well, no, if you think about it, like we're just on the current medical trends and everything.
Yeah.
Life expectancy is. I mean, like,
it's actually dropping for men, in America.
Yeah, we're the first generation of plastic food.
Oh, right, yeah, which I think has a lot to do with all the gut stuff that's going on with
the gut biome.
Yeah, absolutely. The gut cancer and things that are happening. They can't figure out. Well, why is this happening? Oh yeah, it couldn't be anything to do with genetic modification.
Yeah, I mean,
which animals won't eat. Given a choice, between natural food and GMOs, animals will not eat the GMO.
Well, everybody in Gen X pretty much like Country Crock was like some shit we enjoyed,
right,
and that shit's like one molecule away.
Oh, that was
plastic.
Delicious, right? Yeah.
I still find some pleasure in some Country Crock, guys. It is so multifaceted.
The honey butter.
It's not just tasty; it's a great lubricant.
Squip squap. Probably burns when you get it in your pee hole.
Is that where we go?
We usually digress into wiener jokes, but
said that.
I told you this. Yeah, I did. But we have so much. But this one's gonna be. I think this one's gonna be a good roller coaster. It's gonna be a nice frequency of intellectualism and,
Oh, okay.
and
All right.
esotericism
Big jokes.
and
All right.
pee-pee jokes.
Esotericism,
We'll get some
yes.
vaginas in there too. Don't worry.
All right. All right.
Maybe an asshole. Who knows?
Turd cutter.
All right. All right. All right. Wherever you go, wherever the universe
All right, so
takes me, that's
55
where I
years.
like to go.
55 years of music. Have you done anything music-wise that maybe we might be familiar with, or is there stuff like?
I don't think so. Actually, the most famous song I ever wrote was called "Mary Jane." It was actually called "Going Down on Mary Jane," and it was recorded by my brother's band. It was a anonymous band. It was called Hookah, and all the players were anonymous, but it was actually the band.
Hookah.
Like Slipknot? Did you wear a mask?
Huka was how my brother spelled it. So my brother did the song, and
They're not very anonymous anymore, are they?
No, they're not anonymous at all. They
should come out.
They were
Hookah.
actually Canaveral, the band Canaveral down in Florida, and they toured all over Florida. They were touring all over Florida at the time, but this was like Russ's little project. Oh God, he had a great job of. They did a great job of Everybody Must Get Stoned about the Bob Dylan tune. They did that, but anyway, they did Mary Jane on that a 4-song EP, I guess, or what do they call it?
Yeah, man.
But it was the most listened to song at the Listen 420 website for almost a year, I think. Actually, it was the top song played.
Shout out to Hookah.
Yeah.
Hookah.
Shout out to Hookah.
Maybe could we play that on the exit song for tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah, that should be the exit.
it'd be hard
yeah.
to. Oh, I should have brought you some.
I'm sure we can
some
find
stuff.
it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
on the internet.
I don't know. You may be able to find it. Huka, Mary Jane. See
Going
if you
Down
can
on Mary
find it.
Jane.
Yeah, going down on Mary Jane. Yeah.
Oh man, so all right, so that's something cool.
So that in terms of song wise, that would probably be my most famous song. Now I had a song.
Now was that song a euphemism for something? Or is it a literal translation? I was performing cunnilingus on a woman by the name of Mary Jane when I wrote this song.
It's ambiguous, you know.
I like that, man.
Yeah, I kept it ambiguous, you know. I think,
Mike, there's nothing ambiguous. We know it was a double entendre. Mike's letting it both be
I
known
guess
that he enjoys cannabis and cunnilingus. He's an artist.
I do enjoy both. Yeah. Well, I'm an excellent harmonica player, you know. Oh God, he found it. All right, here it is.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Right. Yeah, this is Hookah playing "Going Down on Mary Jane," written by Michael Hasty.
I think this is Russ's recording of it. The Hasty Brothers. This is the Hasty Brothers? Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Oh, this is actually Mike playing.
Yeah, that's me on the harp. That's me on the harmonica.
That's you on the. That's him on the harmonica, ladies. In case you were disputing prior, acclaims.
Interesting video.
I'll look for the other one too.
The
internet
hookah.
is.
the hookah version. That's the Hasty Brothers version that my brother Russ recorded for us.
But that's nice.
It's a good song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice harmonica playing.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah. Well, it took me a long time to learn to play well. You know, I would say it took me 50 years before I really got the harmonica.
What's the hardest part about getting the harmonica?
Finding the clitoris. Oh wait! I thought we were talking. I thought we were still making a. I thought we were making a ref. We were making one of those, tongue-in-cheek. Insinuations?
No, in a sense, that's the case. Because it's finding those sweet notes. Like you just go. Here's what changed for me, and here's what. Like for me, playing the harmonica now is like singing. I just go where I don't really know what I'm doing. I just go wherever it takes me.
Just let the music come
Yeah,
in.
You just go with the flow.
Yeah. I feel like a channel, like a vessel, right?
Yeah,
For
I
it,
guess
you
that's
know.
when music
Yeah.
is the best, when you don't you're not
Right.
thinking about it. You're in the flow
yeah.
state.
Yeah, after playing for so long, and being so old, I mean, like, I'm to a point, even on the guitar, right, or on the vocally, I just kind of let myself go, and it's a wonderful feeling, and it's more than than it used to be. Even like 10 years ago, I wouldn't say I was like this, but at some point I crossed a line, and now I can just be a pure vessel, for the music.
It's like the Gandalf the Grey becomes Gandalf the hippie.
Gandalf the hippie, right? Exactly, right. Yeah.
Gandalf the tie-dye. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. I'm kidding, Mike. I bust your balls, Mike, because I love you. You're a very fascinating gentleman. So everybody's got their dental dams and snorkels ready, because let's deep dive. Mike,
The deep dive. Yeah.
deep dive. So Mike, are you original? Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from, let's see, the D.C. area, I would say. I was born in Bethesda, at Bethesda Naval Hospital. My dad was in the Marines at the time, and so that's where I was born. The President's Hospital.
Oh, bet.
Which is interesting because I also went to Gonzaga High School in D.C.
No shit.
Yeah.
WCAC, baby.
Yeah, which also has
I went to O'Connell.
the presidential ring, the presidential seal on its ring, the only high school in the country. So I was born in the President's Hospital, and
No
and
shit, man.
went to the Presidential Seal High School too. But yeah, you went to O'Connell, man.
I went to
All
O'Connell,
right.
yeah,
Oh,
man.
no
Two
shit, yeah.
reformed parochial.
Yeah,
boys
right.
here, man.
Yeah. Post-Catholic is how
Yeah.
I describe myself.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of, man, you better
Catholic.
light up them
Same.
incense, bro. With light up them incense, time to have some church.
Right. Yeah.
All
Absolutely, yeah.
right. Did you go to college?
I did go. I went to a bunch of colleges. Yeah.
Yeah, I do go to college.
Well,
He was-
why a bunch?
a bunch. Because he's a man of many disciplines.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm
Or
gonna
maybe
tell you,
Eureka
I'm gonna-
discipline.
I'm going to do my life story, right? Isn't that
Yeah, I want to hear, man.
yeah,
You're
bring it out.
So I got out of so I went to Gonzaga, right? So I thought that because I was in a community where it was it was just guys. It was an all male school, and we wore coats and ties to the class. I said, well, I'll probably be more comfortable in a situation like that, and so I got a scholarship, an academic scholarship to Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia, and I went there for a year, and I was not happy at all there, and I didn't take any of my finals, and so I flunked out of Washington and Lee, and then I went to this Baptist college called Luther Rice College in Franconia, Virginia, which is where I grew up, actually, Franconia, and I was there for a year, and that was very interesting because there was this philosophy teacher there who had studied with Karl Barth, and so that was very influential for me. Excuse me, intellectually. But they were not accredited, and so I couldn't stay out of the draft. And so the draft came after me. This was in 1969, and so I enlisted in the Air Force to stay out of the draft because my dad was CIA and had a lot of friends in the Air Force because he'd worked a lot with the Air Force because he was on the U-2 program and the SR-71 program. And so I thought, well, if I get in any trouble, which I did,
You
that my dad would be able to help me out, and so that's what happened.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk about what kind of trouble, or do you want to? Or no?
No, I will. I'll tell you about what trouble. I started a strike. I went to first I couldn't get. Now I had worked for the CIA myself up until a few months before I went in the service. I thought you read that thing.
I did. Well, yeah, I did, but it still is like I'm like right now. Listen, Mike, we're all over the place, man, and
Yeah.
so I'm trying to. Wow.
Yeah, no, I worked for the CIA for 4 years.
No shit,
Yeah,
man.
when I was a kid. Yeah, I started working for the CIA when I was 16 years old.
Like anything you can talk about?
Yeah,
or?
sure. I'll talk about all of it. Yeah. I started out
Boy. Who dog
downstairs. Is this good? What?
This
You're
is
having
Oh,
fun?
yeah.
Yeah. You like this?
Interesting.
Right. Okay.
It is wild.
Yeah, I started out in the basement, right, in the CIA. It was the brand new building in McLean, right. This was in, so this would have been 1965, right, maybe, yeah. And yeah, I was 16, and the first year, well, they hire the summer employees from who are kids of employees of the career employees there at the CIA. Because then they don't have to do all the security clearance, so it doesn't take much to get a security clearance. So I had a secret clearance. I only had a secret clearance, and the first summer I worked down in the IBM card file room, where it was full of like these filing cabinets full of IBM cards. And then in one half of the room, it was a huge room down in the basement, and then in the other half of the room were all these black women typing, on the IBM cards, right? Well, because the IBM card, because one IBM card, you look at it, it's just a bunch of like dots, like cutout dots, on the card, looks like any other card. Every card had printed on it what was actually on the card. And so my job in the first summer was to work at the sorting and collating machines. So if an order came down from upstairs, like to sort out, cards, a certain section of cards that they needed upstairs, then I would stand at the machine, I'd go to the file drawers and pull out the file drawer and, and run the cards through the machine, and it would sort out the cards that was needed. Well, while I'm standing there all day, like I'm reading all about what the CIA is doing, right? Yeah, so it was an education in what was going on with the CIA and how how real things were or not, right?
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Anything say like back and to the left?
Well, it was only secret. It was only secret, right? So I didn't get access to top secret information.
But you would have seen like assets, names, and shit like that.
No, not necessarily. No, because I remember specifically, Carter talking about one asset in East Germany that was eliminated, and what a mistake that was made, and so no, but there was no names. So because I only had secret clearance, now possibly on, that information was on the card, you know what I mean? But I didn't have, that wasn't, it's all need to know, the CIA. It's all about need to know.
I don't need to know shit. Don't tell me nothing.
Yeah, man. Right now, really plausible.
I've already told you too much. I'm sorry.
Not you specifically, but CIA. If you're listening, don't tell me shit. Not one iota. I don't want to hear none of it. Keep me in the dark.
Yeah, man. We cool.
No. What? You don't want to bring the light
all of a sudden
to the darkness?
They can bring it to somebody else first. I want to hear it last. Oh, that happened.
Yeah, man. Okay, so
okay.
So you started there, and where did you end? Where did you end up in the CIA? And why? Why did you leave?
Well, I ended up actually the last job I had was like escorting the char force around in the office buildings in Roslyn. As the janitors and stuff. They needed somebody with clearance to be an escort.
All right. So you just made sure that the people weren't like going through the
trash.
trash.
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah, they were. They were. Although I never did it.
That is an unspoken hero of intelligence that we never really think of. Like the people that have to monitor the other people to make sure that certain things don't get out. I guess that's
right.
Although I like this misbehaving. Yeah. This is great. I
have to tell you about one now in between time. They shipped me out. Well, so after that first job, well then I went upstairs. This was in logistics, right, in the logistics section, and then they put me in the supply room, right. Well, it was like during Vietnam, right, and I was against Vietnam, right. So people would come in and and I was garrulous,
No.
No
You-
way.
Get out.
Yeah, you can't imagine. Anyway, so I was then shipped out to the warehouse in Franconia, which is where a lot of stuff gets shipped through the Franconia
Is
warehouse.
this
So
like the
there's a
warehouse?
lot of stuff.
Is this like the warehouse from Raiders?
Yeah. It's kind of like that.
Dude, that's
actually.
fucking
It is.
badass.
Yeah. It
Ark of
is.
the Covenant. Ark of the
yeah.
Covenant.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but I was not allowed to be in the warehouse because so like there are other like discontent CIA brats who
Yeah.
are, and so
Pussies.
we all worked back in the behind the warehouse. There were these big steel buildings that had this big pile of desks and safes and stuff, and so we had forklifts, right? We drove forklifts and
Driving
we drove
forklifts to the CIA.
Oh yeah, and so we had a lot of free time, right? So we would have like these jousting matches with forklifts and fire extinguishers, right?
Dude.
Your tax dollars at work, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
You know what? I actually appreciate that more than I appreciate what's going.
Well, yeah,
goes
I
on
know.
with a lot
I
of the
mean,
other tax dollars.
it's
so.
not like there isn't darkness associated with the CIA.
Oh yeah, Diddle
For
Island.
God's sake.
Diddly.
Yeah.
All right. But George doesn't want to talk about that. So.
Oh no, I'll talk about it. It's out in the air now. I don't want to be the first person somebody
right.
divulges some stuff. I don't want to.
Okay.
I want my brakes to work on my truck still.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna. I'm just here to answer questions.
No,
Oh, yeah,
dude,
no.
Mike, you killed Mike. You were absolutely.
Yeah, if
killing
you
it
came
right
in
now,
here and
like-
were like, actually, Trump is an alien. I read it last week. I'd be like, why'd you say that here? They're gonna come in through this window when I'm asleep.
Parachute.
Oh my god, that's fantastic. All right, so CIA and then Air Force after that. All right.
Right, and I was in the Air Force, and at first I was at the Defense Language Institute because I had passed. They'd done a test of all people who were in basic training, and the first choice went to Chinese Mandarin school actually. So at Defense Language Institute in Monterey, California, and so that's where I went first. And and I
So
was
wait, you
there
speak
for
Chinese? You speak Chinese?
only a little. No,
Mandarin
very little.
Chinese?
Yeah. 谢不谢好不好? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not
I
much.
can
Yeah.
count in Mandarin.
Yeah, Mandarin.
Can
Oh, is
you?
that right? Well,
Yeah,
well,
some say la bak
yeah,
chow.
yeah, see,
suck.
I can
well,
order
you know,
Mandarin chicken at the Chinese restaurant.
That's all I can do.
That's I
That's
got.
all
That's
I
all
I
I
say
got.
I say 谢谢,谢谢 at a Chinese restaurant. Thank you. Yeah, that's about all. I don't remember much. But
Ni hao.
Dude,
but
speaking of, man,
anyway,
there's a Chinese.
this is very interesting. So 4 months after I left the CIA, I couldn't get a security clearance, and so I got kicked out of Chinese school.
What'd you get kicked out of Chinese school for, bro?
Well, people were telling they do like because I would have had to get a top secret clearance, right? And so they sent investigators out to go, and people were telling all kinds of stories about. It's not
About
like
you?
Yeah, about me.
They were definitely not true.
Well, some of them were not true.
They were definitely not true. You know what I mean? We're on camera now. I
No,
forgot.
yeah, right.
Shit.
No, they were saying that I was smoking pot when I was 13 years
my
old, which is not true. I actually didn't
I
start
was
smoking
16
pot till
for
I was
Christ's sake.
20. Actually, when I started smoking.
like,
I was-
that's a
I was
damn
13.
dirty lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also I hadn't paid my student loans off, So anyway, so
the
anyway,
real
so I
reason.
got kicked out. So they made me a driver, right? So they sent me to Duluth, Minnesota, and I was a driver there.
Duluth, Minnesota.
Yeah, right. And we lived in a hotel, and we were stationed at the missile base that was outside of Duluth, north of on Highway 61, and
What year
Bob
is this?
Dylan Highway. This would have been probably 1970 that I was in Duluth, and so I used to drive people out to the missile base, and then run, courier stuff. And then I would drive people back and forth on a bus. I had a 45 passenger bus, that I drove guys, because we lived in a hotel downtown in downtown Duluth, which is a lot of fun. It was actually a great.
Anybody ever bust up their hotel room or anything like that?
No, but it was funny because we
never-
were all always smoking in there, right? Like we were always like, I mean, like it was like, regular. Everybody was, smoking pot, doing psychedelics and everything,
Damn, so reefer was plentiful in.
Oh yeah, it was
in
1970,
Duluth.
right? Yeah, in
1970
Duluth,
was free love, baby.
So this is a good question.
Well, there was a university there.
Man,
right?
you were like a cross between Forrest Gump and Austin Powers right now. This shit is. You were like what would be like the real ass Forrest Gump and Austin Powers just came together, and then.
Like,
And then
it's like-
in my head, I'm like having these,
know,
I'm having a Robert Zemeckis like esque montage.
It'd be
of
real
this
fucked
dude's
up
life.
right now. Somebody came in and he was like, Jenny.
No, Jedi rolled up. He's like, "Here's your AIDS kid, Mike."
You want this AIDS, baby? I gotta go die.
Bye.
Put a pretty dress on me.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That was,
Lavish me with your Apple money.
I was super baked, and as you tell your story, I'm just listening to it in my head. I'm seeing it in my brain.
seeing a feather float
And-
down.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's taking you way back from before you were born, right?
So,
I mean,
like-
all this is ancient history.
Can you
right?
imagine
Like,
the soundtrack to
is
this would be
something
way
happening.
hard. This soundtrack to this would be way harder than the Forrest Gump soundtrack, man. This would be a lot more like,
Are we
like
talking municipal waste? What are we doing?
No, that's in the 80s. We did the 80s. We haven't even gotten to the 80s yet, bro. Like,
So,
this is-
we're
this
still in
fucking
the
story.
we're
This
still in the
is great.
70s.
How
Right,
much?
so-
How much has weed
Right.
changed since 70?
Well, I would say,
Like
well,
you said,
so
it was
got-
plentiful.
It's
like,
a lot more expensive. It was
Well,
15
other
bucks.
than that, like-
A lid. As they used to call an ounce. Back in the day.
Well, as opposed to like the potency, has that changed significantly, or was there always potent weed?
You
It's
know,
just they church it
it's
up
hard
now?
to say because I started smoking hash actually when I started.
Oh, so
so
you leveled up way before.
So yeah. So
Fuck some
you know,
flour.
But there were no
Life is
and
like
it
a
was,
box of hashish.
But I used to smoke leaf and get high. And like so it's hard to say. That and now I don't get high at all because I smoke so much weed. Even though I smoke a real potent weed.
Mike is definitely 100% not high, guys, right now.
Yeah,
right?
right.
You're at that
He's like,
state.
oh, hello. I speak a Chinese now.
Do I seem high?
No.
Well, 'cause
do you seem high now?
Yeah.
You seem high all the time, Mike. That's why I love
Is
you,
that what
dude.
it is?
You and I are one of the same on that. Like, there is.
I thought I was not high all the time.
See, that's you know who says that? High people. All right.
I barely even smoked today.
No, I just smoke for the euphoria, right? I just smoke for the side effect. Right?
Oh man, I smoke for a lot of reasons, but mostly, to.
Well, I smoke because we have a
weird.
nuclear sword of Damocles hanging over our heads.
Yeah, I'm in that with you on Damocles. I'm gonna use that, man. From now, I'm gonna quote you on that. I smoke a lot of weed because we hang in the midst of a nuclear Damocles.
Yeah.
So is it? Do you think it's worse now than it was
That's a
like
mouthful.
It
during
is, yeah,
during the Cold War?
Technically, it is. Yeah. We're 90 seconds to midnight, which is the closest it's ever been. It's
All right.
never been this close,
So
and it's because of what's
If
going on.
we
in
get
Ukraine.
disappeared,
Yeah.
this is gonna be the worst.
that's scary.
I know. I'm like,
Oh, is this getting too scary? Okay,
No,
we
it's
don't.
not.
we
No,
don't,
no, no,
we
no,
don't
no.
need to talk about
No,
this.
we
No,
are-
this is,
no,
we
no,
can totally
no.
talk about this. This
Mike.
is exactly
Yeah,
why I watch
yeah.
horror movies, though, to escape
Yeah,
the reality of
yeah,
things.
yeah,
And also-
because the reality,
The
is
real
really
horror.
scary.
I
Yeah.
told you, Mike, we got on our proverbial dental dams and snorkels. We
Okay,
are,
all right,
we are
we're going.
fucking in
We're
this.
the deep dive.
We are we are doing this, man. Like, oh my god! All right, well, continue, man. So what happened after that? I mean, goddamn. Like I said, this is one of those stories that could take many turns. Like Forrest Gump. He's like, I then played punt returner for the Los Angeles Rams when they first started.
Well,
Well, funny you mention it.
so after Duluth, then I was stationed in Zweibrücken, Germany. There's an air base there, which I was glad not to go to Vietnam because it was a real struggle.
glad not to
The
go to
reason
Vietnam?
the reason I joined the Air Force was so I didn't have to go to Vietnam, even though a lot of my friends had been in Vietnam who were in the Air Force and got very fucked up by Vietnam. I didn't want to go there, and had I been given orders for their, I don't know that I wouldn't have gone to Canada, just to stay away from it because I just
Yeah.
You know, I was against the war. You know, as
most
so many of
people
my
were
generation.
during
Right,
that
right,
time.
right.
Like
Yeah.
I remember
Were there
my
people that were for the war?
great-grandfather
Like so.
Oh yeah,
just
of course.
to
there
be
were
clear,
people,
I've always thought about this. Like, I mean, we're George Lead and I are roughly the same age, but the way that the Vietnam War was always portrayed in the media that I've seen, at least, was always that everybody was absolutely against it across the board, which leads, exactly. So my question is, who were there were people out there who were like, nah, man, it's cool.
No, it's the same people we live around here, right? We're right, you know, here in the red America where we live. You know, they were for the war, you know, and their kids went.
What did that
to
look
the war,
like?
you
I
know?
mean, like what? Because I guess we lived back then. It was
I don't know.
a
I
little
lived
more
in the burbs then, you know, so.
But everybody was kind of quiet, I think, about how they felt about shit, right? It wasn't like now where everybody's like,
I don't know. I don't know. I went to my first demonstration I went to was at Washington and Lee, which was against the war, you know. So, but there were only 7 of us there, you know, or something like that, you know. So it was early on. That was
were there schools that are hot spots the way it is now, like Columbia is like the sort of.
Well, of course, there was Kent State, you know. It was
you
know, huge, you know, like that was a major thing, you know. Ohio.
It's definitely,
man. This story gets more and more Forrest Gumpish as it goes on. Like, but it's much more real, you know. Like it's not like all like just silly like pop iconic.
I
shit,
drank
like,
too many
Well,
Dr.
I mean,
Peppers.
I can tell you what
like,
you know what the experience was, you know, for us, and I really did have friends that were very fucked up by going to Vietnam.
Sure.
You know, I mean, like very fucked up.
Yeah, dude.
You know, they changed. Their personalities completely changed.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate. You know.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. And of course, then there was the dead. You know, and like, although I didn't know. I don't remember anybody I know that was killed in Vietnam. My cousin got totally fucked up. He got fucked up on heroin.
Ooh.
Vietnam. Yeah.
All right, so you were stationed in Germany during the war.
Stationed in Germany. Yeah.
And what were you doing there? You were just chilling.
I was driving. I was driving guys out to the flight line. You know, to the mechanics and the people that work on the planes. You know, and so you know, I was driving this panel truck, and you know, and usually anybody got in the truck, you know, say, "Hey, want to smoke a bowl?" You know, so, sure, you know, like so all these guys were getting stoned. All right.
I know we were.
You know, working on the planes, you know. Although the only plane that ever came down was because the pilot got his fucking clipboard stuck in the steering mechanism.
Talk about a bad day.
Pilots.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Always.
So it wasn't ever the mechanic's fault, you know.
No.
So I did that, and that's where I started a strike. Actually, I was at Zweibrücken, because there was a lot of discontent at the time, and about 6 months before I started the strike, they came out with this thing called a troublemakers discharge. And the troublemakers, they were trying to weed out. You know, there was a lot of guys getting killed in Vietnam. You know, a lot of lieutenants getting fragged, a lot of fragging. Do you know that? Do you ever heard that term, fragging? Fragment, and it came from fragmentation grenades that they would roll into these officers' tents in Vietnam.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and that was a fragging, right? So the people getting fragged.
So the officers would just keep you in places you didn't want to be, and like
right. And so they would disappear. You know, they would. Somebody would. All of a sudden there'd be an explosion under their bed. You know.
So if the leader's dead, they have to they don't get to continue the mission. They have to stop, or is it?
No. It's guys. You know, I mean, it was the grunts in Vietnam that stopped the war. That's who stopped the war, because they refused to go out, right? That's what happened, and they were killing their fucking lieutenants, right?
Jesus.
Yeah, they were over it. They're like,
right.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah. So the service, the Department of Defense, came out with this regulation that they could get rid of you. Yeah, they were trying to get rid of the bad apples without a court martial, but they had to give you an honorable discharge.
Was that like Captain Klinger and fucking MASH, where he be wearing a dress?
Oh yeah, he was trying to get out all the time, right? Right, yeah, the same kind of thing. But anyway, so well, at the time I was doing, we were doing a lot of. Well, I was hanging out with a bunch of hippies, you know, and we had a house, you know, out off the base. You know, I lived on base, you know, but hung out with a bunch of guys off base, and where we'd play music and do a lot of drugs and
Seems to be a running theme.
Play cards. We would play spades, like hearts.
Oh
yeah.
shit!
Yeah, spades and hearts. We played a lot of spades and hearts. Yeah. So, but anyway, so I hung out there. So there was a lot of discontent. Well, the other services, the other European services, let people grow their hair long, right? And so I said, well, why can't we grow our hair long? And because
wait,
because
hold on.
right?
Hold on, before you go any further, please tell me this is going the direction I think it's going. You started a protest.
It's symbolic. God, what a heathen.
That's the best thing I fucking ever heard in my entire life. You started, he was like, yo, man, we can't have long hair? Fuck this shit.
Well, it was a stupid rule, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I love you so much right now. If I had an ounce of gay in me, I'd dry hump you.
Were you like marching around like long hair, don't care, long hair, don't care?
No, it was me and my friend Dennis Hancock. Right? This is a great story.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Dennis Hancock was actually a descendant of John Hancock, right?
Oh,
from
shit.
the American from the
Strong lineage.
Declaration of Independence, right? And so Dennis and I went into the vice commander's office and we said we were going to have a strike unless they.
That dude was sitting in his office probably being like, yo, I fucking hate my life. This coffee fucking sucks. And y'all come in like, y'all be striking.
He had two beautiful daughters who used to hang out at our house.
Oh, shit.
So anyway,
You ruined his day
Old
even
Thunder
more.
Stick.
Old Thunderstick in my office talking about he quitting.
So anyway, we said we were going to have a strike, right, in 24 hours, right? Well, like the next morning, like they woke us up, Dennis and I both, right? And they took us around. And they opened up all the offices, like to process us out. And they bumped two guys off the flight at Kaiserslautern to put us on it to get us to New Jersey. And 24 hours later, we were out of the fucking service with honorable discharges.
Yo.
It was called a troublemaker's discharge, right? That was the name for it. It was a troublemaker's discharge.
Your legend probably
You are
percolated through the
fucking-
military.
I did not realize the brevity of the situation by bringing you on this show. God damn, son, this is fantastic, man.
How'd you?
As the story, and we're not even there yet, guys. Like we have not even climaxed in the story yet, man.
I'm like 22, right? Like I'm 22.
You're 22 by the time
at
this
that point.
happened?
At this point, yeah, that happened.
There's somebody listening right now that is furious. It was like, I was there for fucking 6 years.
That's all I had to do.
God, I know, right?
Yeah. Oh, now get this. Okay, remember what I said about my dad and the CIA and the generals, the Air Force generals. I was a bunch with the Air Force generals. Well, it was only just a few years ago that my youngest brother Steve told me that he found a letter in my mother's files, and it was written by the commander of my fucking base, and it was apologizing to her for kicking me out.
God damn, man.
Dude.
We didn't realize Mr. Hasty was swinging that big a dick around.
Isn't that a great story?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That dude
Wow.
just wanted, he was like, yo, I want him off my base.
Yeah, no. Oh, sorry.
You just inspired some 19-year-old
Yeah.
that really
No,
got
I
to
didn't
get
even
out.
know. I never knew that
Deegan.
right until
You
a few
bitch.
years ago. Right?
Shout out to Deegan
Yeah.
Beckelheimer out there
So-
in La La Land. I know he's listening, so you get an idea from this guy, Deegan. Live the life.
Yeah.
He's one of the
live
guys
your life,
listening
right?
right now.
Come and be
Yeah,
like,
no,
I don't
no,
want to
I've
wear my
been-
shoes on the right feet. Let me
I've
out.
been very fortunate in my life, and I think it's because I'm a fool, right? It's because the Lord blesses, as it says in in the Old
Forrest
Testament
Gump.
blesses children and fools, right? And so if you go through life as a fool, you don't have to worry too much,
Oh my God, that would be your tagline. It wouldn't be "Life is like a box of chocolate." Like, "Life is full of fools," and then people would be like, "Oh my God, this is inspirational."
Yeah.
All right, so
Well, you know about the tarot, right? Right, the fool, walks
Yeah.
off, right? Right. That's the first
Yeah.
card in the tarot, right? In the major arcana, right?
Hmm.
I
You
know,
know
nothing,
about that
I
stuff,
know
right?
nothing about tarot.
I know a little bit of it.
Yeehaw!
Okay, yeah.
All right, so what happened next?
Yeah.
Oh, where am I? Okay.
The never ending.
You just got out.
All right. So
Fresh out
So yeah, right
This is
there
great.
I am.
This is like he's like Falcor too.
And what? I don't even know who that is.
Have you ever seen the Never Ending Story?
No, no.
Oh Jesus! It's
No.
not. That was like sideways.
Atreyu.
Atreyu. Like there, you remind me of the dragon.
Is that right?
Yeah, you remind me of the dragon in
He was
the
very
Neverending Story.
wise.
Yeah, he was very wise.
Oh, is that right?
He also had a nice goatee.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He was
Well,
also
I just
like
trimmed mine.
Yes.
A stuffed animal.
I trim it to keep to stay looking young.
I know.
Actually, yeah.
I know.
Because
told me,
long
what do
too
you
long,
call it
then
again?
I look
This-
old,
The saddle.
the what?
What do you call that again? The
Oh,
saddle.
yeah.
The flavor saver.
Just sit right here. Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
Chris, I'm shocked.
Yeah, right. All right. So what
All right.
happens? So what happens next? So you
All right.
so you-
So okay. All right. So then I come home. Well, the first thing I did was I went to work as a dishwasher at Hot Shops, which is where we used to hang out. We all used to hang out in Springfield, Virginia.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
You know Hot Shops. And then I made enough money to go back to Germany because I was going to continue the revolution.
Whoa!
The hair.
That was
revolution.
close.
Yeah.
That was fucking close, Mike. Jesus Christ.
Germany
If
and
you had
Arma.
if you had just raised your fingers like that, this would have been that would have been a whole. I went to Germany to bring it back. No.
No, it's the revolution, man.
Yes,
it
the
was
rev-
the
yo.
fucking revolution. Yeah, right, yeah.
The difference between the
So that was
I've
revolution,
seen
around-
that before.
the
Right?
revolution.
So that was around like
Right.
71.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was 72 actually. It was right 1972. I was kicked out in January 72.
Wow, that's a wild time also because the Munich stuff that happened.
yeah. Oh yeah. There was so much that went on. Right. Yeah. You're talking about the Olympics.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the Munich Olympic.
Yeah, sure.
you
Yeah.
know, the hostage taking. That's fucking nuts.
Ooh. And that's when you diverted the hostage situation single handedly. He's like, well, I walked into another room. And I was smoking a joint, and then I got everybody baked, and it was over.
No. The colonel's daughter wasn't interested in me, so I came back to the U.S.
Oh, that is great.
No, I also had to go back up because my nephew was born in Germany, right? My nephew Trent, right? He was my first. And so I went back to see him and to see my son because I had left kind of precipitously, because my brother-in-law was stationed at the same time. I can't remember the base that he was at, but he was like about 50 clicks, above Kaiserslautern or above Zweibrücken. And so anyway, so I went back to see them and to see my godson, right? I got that's when that was
cool.
That was
So,
December.
I don't
So that
think-
would have been
so
December.
Chris doesn't have that
No, he doesn't
story.
know about. He doesn't
Yeah,
know. I
so-
didn't send Chris that about
Yeah.
that. My
Nita's
nephew.
excitement point of the
yeah.
week.
So he
Yeah.
had shared a little bit of knowledge, a snippet about. He was like, "This is my godson and my nephew." I was like, "I know this guy. He wrote the movie Dead Girl, which is one of the more disturbing
Have you talked about that?
independent films that I had seen in a while. Yes, I actually talked about this movie before,
Wow.
maybe 5 or 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like
I remember.
yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, he wrote it. I didn't know that. So yeah,
That's crazy as shit.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, the
You
tie.
didn't tell me. that.
Small world.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah, wow. That
Small
is
world.
very small
Yeah.
world, very cool.
Right. Yeah. Isn't that? Yeah.
I hope that I hope you're not. They didn't. None of the characters on the bad side of things are modeled after you in that movie. It's like
I never saw Dead Girl, so I don't know.
It's
no, I
Pretty disturbing.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
sure.
good. I mean,
Yeah, Trent. Well, Trent. When he's always been into like weird stuff. Kind of influenced by my brothers in a way, actually, because my youngest brother Steve is only like 5 years older than Trent, or no, he's only a couple years older than Trent. It's not even 5 years, but they're close in age, So a lot of his, and then Russ and Ken were both into like horror films and stuff, So he picked up stuff from that, but Trent was always into like, oh God, what was it? When he was like really young, he had this comic that he did called with a clown called Die Bob Die. Or Bob was the clown, right?
That's
which
wild.
which is prophetic in a way, since he played Killjoy, right? This this like horror clown, right? And later on, but yeah, and Bob died in all kinds of gross, grotesque ways. But he always thought horror films were funny. I mean that's the thing about Trent. I mean he got a lot of humor. He thought that it was just a funny as shit to take things as far as they could possibly go, which he does. That's what he's known for, right? Like taking things like farther than other people. Have you seen 68 Kill? Have you?
No, I haven't seen that one. But I can't agree with that, taking it far. Now, Dead Girl is not like a funny horror movie. It is like just kind of dives into the psyche of teenage boys and how far they will go.
It was named one of the 10 most disturbing films of all time.
Yeah. So.
Whew.
Yeah, it's a good
Wow,
one.
man, my nipples are my nipples are so hard right now. This
my
is
godson. That's my godson, right? I failed completely.
Or maybe you didn't.
Yeah,
Remember,
maybe not.
all cathedrals need gargoyles.
Right, exactly right. Yeah. No, I'm very proud of him, actually. And his wife too. He has his Vietnamese wife named Lynn, who is a lingerie designer and a clothing designer, and very
That's a
successful.
hell of a job.
Yeah.
Mike's one of her models.
No, I'm just one of her workers.
That's where he goes next in the story.
Then I started my lingerie modeling career.
That's much later.
That was 2 weeks ago. Oh shit!
Yeah, no. I painted her office the last time I was in Los Angeles. So. Her home office.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, all right.
So where do we go?
What's
so
next?
here I am. Oh no. Well, you want to know? Oh, because here I am. I just got back from. So I went to Germany, and the revolution didn't continue, and I came back, and so I went to work as a hospital orderly, actually, when I came back at the
Very
Fairfax Hospital.
Very cool.
And then my friend Dennis, who got kicked out with me, came and moved in with me. He was from California, and we had an apartment in kind of Alexandria area.
Shirlington.
And I was working at Fairfax Hospital, and we decided to go out to California. So I had a 65 Valiant convertible.
All right.
And that I never changed the oil on.
Locked up.
Oh, it was a bad fuck up. But my uncle bought the car when I got out to California. I had family out in California, so and Dennis lived in California. I actually looked for Dennis last time I was in California a couple of years ago, and because the last time I looked for him, he was like. Had this like catering business right in Hayward, the same place that he always lived. So I went to the place that he lived, and there was another guy named Dennis Hancock actually living there in the place. And he said, "Well, oh yeah," Dennis said. He says, "Well, a few months ago, like all these cops came here and they were looking for Dennis." That is so Dennis.
Classic Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis.
Because actually,
Dennis and the cops.
Actually, when we left Virginia and we drove across to California, me and Dennis and another guy, I can't remember who was with us, but anyway, we just made it. I had to trade some albums for gas in Bakersfield, like to get up to Hayward.
Nice.
Yeah. So we just made it to Hayward, and
do you remember what they were?
No, I have no recollection of that. What albums they were.
Like Zamfir, the master of the pan flute.
No, it would be more like Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Ultimate
that kind of
Spinach.
thing, right. Anyway, so we made it to Hayward, and that's where all our buds from the Air Force were, and they all had a nice business deal in acid. Right?
Yo, I was an orderly. Now I'm slinging that ass.
Oh my God. Yes, this is fantastic.
Are you enjoying this?
Joe, Mike, I have a semi listening to you talk, man. This is fucking fantastic. In my brain right now, I'm making I'm the movie scape in my brain for this is fucking amazing.
I've never done this. I want to tell you this. I've never done. Actually gone through my life.
This is way like I think if this done, you were to shoot this movie in the Forrest Gump format with like a different soundtrack because you don't want to get all fucked up on the licensing stuff. Right. But it's like this is fantastic. I mean, please keep going. I was just like expecting to be like, then I started hitchhiking with a young man by the name of Andy Warhol.
It's funny you mentioned hitchhiking because that's what I did next. Was about 10 times back and forth across the country. Was that hitchhiking?
All right.
Ooh,
Forrest Gump jogged it, and you hitchhiked it. Did you hitchhike any celebrity encounters on the road or?
No, let's see. I did. I took a freight. I did catch a freight train out of California.
So you was a train hobo too?
Salt Lake City. Well, and I was playing harmonica, right? It was like classic, right? It was like, and I felt that way, right? Like as I'm riding, I said, oh man, this is so cool. Here I'm riding a fucking freight train across the fucking West and playing a harmonica. I mean, you can't help but realize, oh, this is a realization, like I'm like doing this, right? Like, it feels good, right? It feels really good. I mean, it's scary sometimes, I mean, it was scary, as well,
I can see that.
Yeah.
So what was the point of the hitchhiking back and forth?
Because I didn't, I was kind of rootless and didn't really know what to do, at that point, and my family was back east, and sometimes I wasn't like like one time I hitchhiked back, and then I drove with them, and they moved to the San Jose area, to Los Gatos, California, actually, and they lived there for a couple of years. Not long after I moved there. Which was a good thing because I had too much acid, and so I had to move in with the family for a while.
You mean you took too much acid?
Yeah. Okay. I was like doing acid every day for about 6 months.
I wasn't sure if you just had a bunch on you. He's like, I gotta duck out.
No, I just it was there, and and it was fun. We were riding motorcycles and then doing acid. I mean, it was fun.
That's spectacular.
Why wouldn't I do it?
I
didn't know what else to do. You know what I mean?
One time when I was younger, I took acid and I was driving a Camaro, and I pressed my foot on the gas pedal, and the hood just got longer. I was like, "Yep, that's the retirement of me driving on acid ever. This is terrible."
Oh no, I can drive on acid. I can drive on anything. Yeah.
Dude, you know what? There's actually my dad is. I hope he never watches, so it doesn't matter. But there's actually one of the funniest stories my aunt ever told me about my dad. Because my dad's a very conservative gentleman. He's not like me at all. It's socially, we look somewhat alike. We have some characteristics that are the same, but we very socially very different. So that's why I do this and he doesn't do. And he's a very smart man, but he ended up. He's gonna watch this and be like, "What the fuck, dude?" But there's a story my uncle told me where the first story is like me and my uncle smoking a joint like the first time ever together. He's like, "Dude, I should tell you a story about your dad." Like when I met him the first time, he was barefoot and he took a quarter sheet of acid and they jumped on a Honda 350 and fucking gunned it out into the fucking Appalachian Mountains for like 4 hours, man. It was crazy. I was like, and that's a story that, and then, my dad, I told him, I was like, yo, Uncle Mike told me that story, and he was like, it happened. I was very highly impressed.
Fuck, man. The only thing my uncles told me is my dad was a lightweight.
My dad, I don't know. My dad's pretty intense dude, I guess, when it came to that stuff. But anyways, back to the Mike Hasty story, everybody. This is a very big event, a radio event here at Helltown Radio.
It's a revelation, isn't it? It's a revelation. I'm reviewing.
I don't think it's. I wouldn't say revelation is a good word because, Mike, I expect nothing less than any of these stories. The credibility just knowing you, absolutely. I'm not gonna call bullshit on any of this.
Why would I? Why would?
That's what I'm saying.
There's no reason I should lie, right? About
I understand that.
Right?
I understand that, but
yeah.
So I think that we should get to like back to the fucking Mike Hasty story.
So post hitchhiking across the U.S.
All right.
Where are you at now?
Which is sort of like the Forrest
okay.
Gump running across the U.S.
All right. So let's see. Where did I end up? Well, I ended up in California, right? Yeah. And because I had family there and everything, and my family was in California. Well, I worked at a. So I ended up. Well, I had done so much acid, I was thinking about committing myself, right, to but instead there was an advertisement for an orderly needed at this local mental institution, right? And since I had orderly experience, as a hospital orderly, I applied. I'm thinking, well, then I can go there and be there all day, and then I can go home at night, right? And so,
It's totally the same as committing yourself. Same difference, but you can go home. I feel like that's a great idea. Like you can still get like the experience, but
all the
you can go home. From now on, that's what I'm gonna do.
Mike, I thought I was smart up until now. I am the dumbest dude I've ever met. You are a goddamn genius. Harvard, if you were watching this, you should make a curriculum.
Thinks, right? My mother thinks I'm a genius. Right?
Yeah, man. Oh my god.
My mom's still alive. 95. Yeah.
No shit. Yeah. All right. So we're back on, man. We got actually.
Oh, shit, we got a. So you get up to the 80s. What are we doing in the 80s? You start making music yet, or?
Holy shit, the 80s.
The late 70s, early 80s.
You want to skip the 70s? The 70s is when I was in San Francisco.
That's when he had the biggest push.
So I thought we were at 75 already. So San Francisco. Let's get into San Francisco.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So because that's where I am. So I ended up actually in the Los Gatos area, and I went to what was it, Mountain Valley, some community college. Oh fuck. Anyway, community college in West Valley Community College, and there I met this and I got in a theater pro. Oh well, I went to this. So I'm working at this locked facility, right? And I should say this that one of the patients there was Skip Spence, who was the original drummer for the Jefferson Airplane.
All right.
And went on to become the founder of Moby Grape and the lead guitar player for Moby Grape. And,
my dad loves Moby Grape, by the way.
He wrote Omaha, which is Moby Grape's most famous song. And we used to jam. Well, Skip Spence was one of the patients there in our Rancho Verde Manor was the name of the place. Ronald Reagan had been the governor and had closed all the state mental hospitals. And everybody that was too, gone to go out, they went to these locked facilities. They were called locked facilities, and that's where I was working, and that's where Skip Spence was. And we used to jam with Skip Spence all the time, so there was a lot of music and there was a lot of drugs. I worked the swing shift, 3 to 11.
Quaaludes? Question mark.
Let's see, more speed at the time. Black Beauties.
Did you ever do Quaaludes?
I didn't really like Quaaludes because it would put me to sleep. Actually,
but you have tried them.
I have tried. Quaaludes,
okay, because listen again, as I don't know about you too.
Mythical.
Like, yes, they're very mythical to our generation. Like, they were always portrayed in like the 80s as like
I only tried them
cool
once,
drug.
And I went to sleep, and so I didn't. I never
they rushed back in the American consciousness with fucking Bill Cosby's rapey ass, because that's what he used to put in people's drinks.
Hot Cosby,
slipping a lewd.
Hot Cosby.
That just makes you tired, right? Like Dilaudid.
I think there's a
like a stronger Dilaudid. Maybe.
All right.
So anyway, I met this young woman, Lynn Eldridge is her name, and she was in the theater program, and I was doing theater because I'd been actually when I was in high school I did theater, and I won a couple of best actor awards, and they were CYO theater things, but regional things, and so I went to these therapists, right? At the same time that I was going, working at the at the mental hospital, and they were what do they call them, reality therapists or something like that. And but anyway, they got me to say, well, they said, well, what were you good at, and so. What do you like to do? And I said, well, I was good at acting, and so I got into acting again, and I got into acting in San Jose. I was in San Jose theater, the little theater there, and where I actually was in a play. I was in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I played Polonius. I often played old men, actually, which is funny, like kind of a foreshadowing of myself.
To be honest, Mike, as I'm envisioning the story, you were this age the entire time.
Yeah, well,
So-
yeah. This is exactly how he looked at in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. But Rosencrantz, no, yeah, it was Guildenstern. Oh shit. Anyway, it was Marty, the first guy.
McFly?
No,
Damn it.
the first guy that was eaten by the dinosaur in Jurassic Park. What was his fucking last name? Oh, Marty. What was
it's
Marty's last
the
name?
lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. The guy, he was
Come
wearing a
on.
white suit, right? Yeah. He was also in Miami Vice. He was in Miami Vice. He was a regular character in Miami Vice for a while. But he played I think Guildenstern and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. But anyway, so I got into that, and I got into theater at West Valley College, and where I met Lynn Eldridge.
Did you do anything in film?
No, I never did.
You didn't?
do anything
Yo.
in film, no.
Mike, though, we are gonna have to transition for just a moment
Okay,
because
yeah,
we
sure.
need to talk about some films that Lita has definitely thought
Well,
about.
okay, yeah. Oh, for sure.
coming in.
I wanted to start.
No,
us
I
off.
didn't mean to dominate the.
No, you're not dominating.
you're
We-
good,
we're-
you're good.
we're- No, we're gonna come back to it, but we
Well,
need,
yeah,
like
okay,
while we're
all right,
talking
all
about
right.
theater and we have a good transition point.
Oh, okay.
Definitely want to get in on this.
and then
list.
maybe this can like help you transition.
Well, maybe
to,
the,
Yes.
the film
conspiracy
you might
theory.
connection
Yes,
to
yes,
Trent
I'm
too,
making
right?
this.
Because Trent
Yes,
was Germany, right?
please.
So I went back.
I gotta get
from,
some of this charcuterie.
You know,
I'll be right back.
Thing. Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right.
are you doing my intro song? Do 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 do. So I'm gonna do things a little bit different. I know I had promised that we were gonna do folk horror, but given that we have Mike here, and he will talk about some of his conspiracy theory stuff, I figured I'd find like 5 conspiracy theories type horror movies. That was really hard to like find. I actually had a really hard time looking for these movies. Not all of them are horror, and I think most of them are actually more like a thriller. So, here's my music now. Yes, welcome to my movie thing that we're gonna talk about.
That was fantastic.
All right.
I got
I'm
some
cutting
gavel.
that out of the show, and that's what's gonna play when this song plays. It'll be like, "Welcome to my movie thing," and I'll put echo on it.
Good. I like that. I like that idea. So, yeah, I could only find like 5 movies. So, if you guys have any suggestions, please, hit us up in the chat if you have something that I've never heard of. But yeah, I had a hard time finding these. So my first one is actually a documentary. It is Room 237. I think a lot of you have seen this before. That was the director Rodney Asher. So basically, it's about the symbolisms and hidden meanings that relate to conspiracy theories in the movie Shining, and I'm talking about Kubrick's version of The Shining. So it's a really good documentary. If you haven't caught it before, it's on AMC Plus. So check it out. Number 4, Eyes Wide Shut. Stanley Kubrick. After a wife admits to her husband of having a sexual fantasy of his friend, he becomes obsessed with that idea and discovers an underground sex cult. So check it out. It's really, really, really weird movie, and Kubrick is amazing anyway. So like, if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. That you'll find on Prime. Number 3 is Mandela Effect. That is David Levi. A man becomes obsessed with a phenomenon where facts and events have been collectively misremembered. I'd never seen this movie personally, so I don't really have an opinion on it. I just know that was just one of the movies that popped up on the list. But I know that phenomenon. Where
Is that
people
the one with Ashton Kutcher's in it?
No, that's the butterfly effect.
Ashton Kutcher's is good actors.
So, yeah, that's totally different movie.
Known as the Kutch.
It's a conspiracy of butterflies.
Anyway, number 2, Contagion. I love this movie. Me and George actually watched this with some friends at the onset of the pandemic. So that was a fun thing to watch. So it is a Steven Soderbergh movie. It's about the widespread, the spread of a highly contagious virus that ends up causing like social disorder, and then it spirals into an actual worldwide pandemic. So it's a pretty good movie. Gwyneth Paltrow's in it, and she dies epically in the very beginning of the movie. I'm not spoiling it for you because it's in the beginning of the movie. So calm down. Go watch that movie if you haven't seen it yet. And number 1.
Ichiban.
It was actually his idea because
Number uno.
I would have never thought of this movie, but then
It's
he
one of the greatest.
one of the greatest. 8mm, and that is Joel Schumacher. It has Nicolas Cage in it. It is
Nice.
Oh, Nick Cage, and it's got James Gandolfini in that
Yeah.
bitch.
Ooh,
Yeah, it
James
does.
Gandolfini.
Sweaty and everything.
Yep.
Mouth
So-
breathing.
Oh, mouth breathing, no nose.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Christopher, I need more gabagool. Actually, I wish
Gabagool.
I wish I was just eating like a
bunch of gabagool.
I had the salams on here. I was eating
Over there eating the
salams.
gabagool.
I'm about to go get some more salams in a minute, but I just like. Anyway, so the guess, Contagion.
So no,
With
it's
James Gandolfini.
8mm. So
8mm,
it does
down.
have Nicolas Cage in it, and it is a crime thriller about a private investigator who delves into the world of snuff films.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I loved it. Like I said, I would have never put this on the list because it's in the back of my head. I haven't seen this movie in 10 years. I'm
Yep.
probably gonna watch it tonight
Good
because it
movie.
is a good movie.
I've got a
So
good one.
that's my list. Conspiracy theory stuff. And now you can segue into your.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Before we go there, we did forget one.
What? What's that?
Conspiracy theory starring Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well,
you know, it's another conspiracy.
That was good. That was actually a
What?
pretty good movie.
Well, the one that I wanted to mention, but we didn't have it last. It was on the list last week
yeah.
for aliens. They live because that's a
Yeah.
big ass
Yes.
conspiracy.
Yeah, that is definitely a conspiracy.
All right.
But again, I don't want to put like movies on like double listen because I want to give you guys new material that you can go and watch on this chilly Tuesday night after the show. So enjoy and let me know if you guys have any more because like I said, this list was crazy hard to find because it's not usually my genre. So yeah. Do-do-do-do.
Oh, we gonna talk conspiracies.
Oh.
It's pretty specialized. Conspiracy horror.
Yeah.
So there is a list. I'm gonna run down, I guess, the top 10 most well-known conspiracies. Some of these I don't agree with, but they're on the list from World Atlas. So number 1, Bigfoot.
Mhm.
So I guess they're including cryptids, the gimbal footage and all the other stuff that people have done throughout the years. Then we got number 9, Truman Capote and To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh.
He befriended a murderer. The murderer gets out of jail after he convinces people he didn't do it, and this dude goes to somebody's house and kills this dude over a safe that didn't exist. Truman was wrong. Dead wrong.
Wait a minute. Truman Capote? Yeah, you're talking about In Cold Blood?
Well, yeah, that too. But
Yeah.
apparently in this one, he was childhood friends. He went. There's a bunch of other stuff about it. Apparently, he planted the seeds of jealousy with Harper Lee, and a lot of these different things he did to manipulate
Oh,
the
that's
situation.
right. He was the.
Yeah,
he
they
was
were all
their
friends,
friend.
and I guess in cold blood and all this other stuff. Like they're trying to say that he did it to upstage her. Like that was his rude goal, not like.
Oh wow.
Crazy.
John F. Kennedy and the Umbrella Man, the CIA person that they say was the real person that killed him.
Yep.
What do you know, Mike?
I
You
know,
smiling?
Mike. Yeah, Mike. What the fuck? You lit up like a Christmas tree.
There's a lot of theories on who killed him.
He's like, I seen some cards.
You know what's funny is a friend of mine texted me. He said, "Ask that dude who killed JFK." I said, "Put it in the fucking chat."
Is that right?
Yeah. Wait. So real quick though, I do want to touch on one cinematographic thing that happened this weekend. After the Labor Day party, we were all winding down, and George Lita and I were sitting around, and we were having just intellectual conversation. We're like, you know what? I'm gonna put on a movie, and I was on Hulu, and I was like one of the first ones that came up, and I'm like, oh, this looks scary enough that I could watch with Lita, and then we could talk about this on the show. So we put it on, and it was essentially a bite off. What was it called? Something in the Water.
Yeah, Something in the Water.
Something in the Water. And maybe I missed something because I was, I'd had a few drinks. But it was like this movie. It was just like that movie, Open Water. Was that what it was called? Yeah, it was a lot like, it was just like an open water, but you just had like a group of like lesbian Karens that were all together.
Yeah.
Nobody had any, like, there was like barely any romantic interaction, unfortunately. And then like it was CGI sharks. It was just horrible. Just don't watch it. So that was my honest hood review with Lita. She didn't watch the end of it. She was
No,
like,
I
"I'm
didn't.
gonna." She was like,
I
it
would
was
have been
so
like, I would
bad.
have told him to like pass this over. I was like, to be fair, you chose this movie, not me.
I didn't. I never implicated you once in the decision making.
I will. I have a whole list of wonderful movies that we can try together that I'm fairly certain you won't faint. Maybe you might puke.
I watched.
But
I watched part. I watched.
Don't watch The Farm.
Yeah, don't watch that one. You're gonna be like, ah, yeah, don't watch that one. My dad watched. He was like, I won't watch that again.
All right, Mike. So we're in the 80s now.
Oh no, we still got a couple more.
No, we're
conspiracies.
still in the 70s.
Oh,
because
conspiracy. Sorry,
oh,
guys.
sorry.
I'm lost in the sauce here between.
Area 51 is number 7. Of course, aliens.
What do you know about that? What do you know about aliens?
I don't know. I think that I trust that guy that blew the whistle there a couple of years ago. That guy was involved in the program.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Number 6, the moon landing. Ties back to room 237.
Yeah. So what do you think? Did it happen? Or didn't it?
Yeah. I think it did happen, but I think like a lot of that footage is like it would probably be really hard to get footage for the 6 o'clock news live. So I think they did film a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah, they were like, this did happen, but we don't have time for this shit, so let's just.
Yeah, like. I mean, I've never been to the moon either, so I can't be like, you're lying. The rocks don't look like that. Like, it's plausible that they could fake it. Fuck, I'm not gonna put it past the U.S. government with all their like tax dollars to be like, we gonna film a movie, dummies. But they probably did film a bunch of shit. I saw something the other day. Somebody was talking about like they showed. I guess they inside of a pool they have a replica of the International Space Station. They do a lot of training in water, and same people that probably like think there's a firmament in the flat Earth were like, see, I told you it was fake. That's your tax dollars. It works. All you have to do is read like the comments on one of these videos, and you're like, man, I really hate people even more now. I hate them even more. Like they'll just be like, you know who did this? The libs. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, why would like automatically? I'm picking a side. Fuck them. Republicans didn't have shit to do with this. It's like, Jesus Christ, bro. So yeah, the dearth of humanity in the comment section. The Stanley R. Mickelson Safeguard Complex. Boom, boom, boom.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. During the Cold War, the U.S. built an approved structure in the Stanley R. Mickelson Safeguard Complex in North Dakota. It is designed to detect incoming Soviet missiles, and it costs $500 million, which is far exceeds the cost of some this type of complex. It has a pyramid on top. A lot of conspiracy theorists think that it's like a headquarters for the Illuminati, or where the government's gonna go when everything goes to shit, because it shouldn't cost that much. Snapple and the Ku Klux Klan. I don't even know about this one. I'm excited.
Snapple? Isn't that a juice?
Yeah, that's a juice. That's what Snapple apple is red, but tastes really like apples.
Like it's red, but really.
For over 40 years, Snapple has offered parched picnickers. A wonderful selection. Parched picnickers. Wonderful selection of iced teas and juices. But in 1992, a rumor began to swirl about the possible connection to the Ku Klux Klan, such as their label for the raspberry iced tea featured a miniature K right above what looks like a slave ship. The three owners of the company are adamant that it had nothing to do with that, and it stood for kosher.
That's a reach.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that
if
is
they
a
had been
reach.
like, if it had been like, yo,
It's
this
just because
is
it's kosher. This fucking
Hate
anti-Semites are like, you know what? Tell them they're with us.
You know, if it had been,
Ruin their brand.
if the name of the flavor had been something like "hate people of color," I would understand. You know, but it's just they're like it's nice raspberry.
It's Snapple. I always associated with like that lady from the commercials. I'm pretty sure she was like a character of like a New York City like Jewish office like lady, like a secretary being like Snapple apple. So
Oh, snap, dog.
damn, dude, you just Snappled that apple.
I'm freeballing right now, guys.
You're Freddie Mercury in it.
Yeah. Mama.
She's a killer queen.
Okay, what's the next one?
Mike, all right, so
I
keep going.
I want to know more.
It's the Alaskan Mind Control Lab. A lot of people have two theories for this because see this field of antennas. Wow, not
Yeah.
anymore.
Just
away.
kidding. Psych.
Close that window. All right. We'll get back to it. But I know in Alaska and other places they have these large arrays. And I know a long time ago they were afraid because they were doing experiments that they were going to ignite the ionosphere by charging the atmosphere around the North Pole.
Wow.
Now you gotta find it again.
I know.
Bumble fingers.
Chris is over here making so much noise.
I'm trying to get my bearings. Here we go. All right, we're back. I think. Don't fail me now. Okay.
We're having some technical difficulties
We're having some
right now.
testicle.
We're having two at once, dude.
Like at the same time.
Boom, boom, boom. Here we are. The Mind Control Lab. So there's always there's a lot of different field arrays they have of antennas like this. Large fields of antennas.
Neat. It's like a little power grid thingy.
It's like the Cobra weather manipulator.
So this facilities are all these facilities, but this one specifically is 1993. They had built the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HARP. There's a lot of different conspiracy theories about HARP, such as the charging the ionosphere and setting the atmosphere on fire. But a lot of people say with the over 120 antennas, it's really a way that they can control human beings through, like, there's different theories involving like 5G and other things, and that's what they're really for. But the HARP laboratory allows scientists to study the upper reaches of the atmosphere and fuck with them. Yeah. So I think about it like this. I wouldn't say that they're up there nefariously doing it, but when I think of scientists, they're like, yeah, see if it happens. Let's go.
So see what happens if we do this.
Hey, y'all want to see the skylight on fire? Come over here, T-Bird.
Well,
Apparently,
I'm still not sure about the planes. The
chemtrails.
Yeah, the contrails. Yeah, right.
Oh, but a lot of this stuff, they say now the public is allowed to visit the facility. That's just so they can get more mind control on you. That's how they make them Manchurians.
You know who had a machine like that?
Who?
Cobra Commander.
I know he did.
He had the Weather Dominator, though.
Him and Zartans. Number 2. I don't know why this is the most popular one. Tupac is still alive.
No, he ain't. He's dead.
Tupac is just our generation's Elvis. That's all he is. That's all he is.
Yeah, but that's fantastic.
We have our own Elvis.
We have our Elvis, guys.
Tupac is our Elvis.
I'm selling.
Hail Mary.
I'm selling violets of his sweat.
You know what? If Tupac is dead, right? But I don't want to say he deserved it, but he pushed it to that limit. He came out with a song where he straight up in the first part of it was like, "That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker." That's a hell of a way to start a diss track off.
Yeah.
Like, before it beat even kicks, he's like talking shit. I can't wait for the beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder somebody shot him.
Tupac's actually. That's great. Oh my God, Tupac's actually still alive. He's on Thug Island with John Ritter. It's him, John Ritter, and Uday and Kusei Hussein.
Thug Island. Everybody else is like, Tupac, I ain't going to your heaven. I'm going to regular heaven.
Regular heaven.
Well, Thug Island's got thugs on it. I'm not going Tupac. They got smorgasbords of crabs. All right, number one conspiracy theory in popularity. This makes sense. 9/11 and the Twin Towers. Doom, doom,
Oh,
doom.
boy. Here we go.
Rightly so.
All right, Mike.
Yeah.
What's your? I have no idea what you're going to say right now. But what about 9/11?
What's my take on? I don't know. So you didn't watch my thing, did you?
No, I actually didn't do any show
watched-
prep.
okay.
I watched half of it to be real
Okay,
bad.
all right, because I do get into that.
Yeah.
Of of what happened and why it happened. Now, in my article, Paranoid Shift, which actually was read by millions of people, it was reproduced at like over 200 websites, and it had 250,000 readers right just at the original website Online Journal, which is no longer around. But and you can still find it actually. I think at a couple of dozen.
Do you get royalties from it?
No, I never.
Damn it.
I never made any money off it. So, but I just wanted the information to be out there, and it started, my relationship with the internet, so because that was the first thing I wrote just for the internet. I earlier stuff that I had a column at the Hampshire Review, which was the oldest newspaper in West Virginia, and that was online, so and people picked up on that, which was kind of cool because actually there was this German group that wanted me to write a article for them, so I wrote an article for this German group. I was with an might have been an environmental group, but anyway. So that's what I was doing actually when 9/11 happened, and I started writing about that immediately. It seemed, well, I just went to websites where like a lot of anomalies, just came out, that, and it's been a while, so in terms of like details, I won't talk about the details, but a lot of things didn't make sense, and in retrospect. I was a carpenter for 50 years, and it didn't make any sense at all the way those buildings fell down. As a builder, it just didn't make sense. I mean, that's not the way buildings behave. I don't care how much weight you got dropping off it, or dropping down on top of it. It doesn't go bam, 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 bam. It doesn't do that, and that's not what happened anyway. Because there's actually been peer-reviewed articles. And studies of the dust from the World Trade Center that has found the explosives, nanothermite, in the dust of the World Trade Center. So there's no doubt about it that they were brought down by explosives. There's no doubt.
Do you think maybe those things were put in place just in case the building is to be torn down at a later date, and maybe it?
That's a theory, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the fact is that there were workers in the building, for weeks beforehand that were working in the elevator shafts, and there was people were coming in their office on Monday morning and finding dust all over their offices, their stuff, and so there were workers in the building, for weeks beforehand. There was a lot of there's a lot of weird stuff.
But you were in Germany during this time.
No, in 2001.
Yeah.
No, I was in West Virginia. I was writing a column in West Virginia. I was writing a political.
Okay,
column
sorry,
in
I was
West
lost in
Virginia.
the story. I thought we were back in Germany again.
Oh no, we left Germany way back. Oh no, we haven't even got out of We haven't even got out of San Francisco, and the whole theater world in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, back to the theater
right?
world.
I don't like but no, we went right to conspiracy theory.
Yeah, let's stay on conspiracy theories.
Which is a later thing. Right?
Wherever y'all want to go, man. I'm just wherever you want, Mike.
So I've thought about the 9/11 thing, and even without the two main buildings, the third building that fell is the one that I always thought that building, the way that the guy who either owned the building or ran the building talked about it, whether it was planted explosives or it was buildings over a certain height in New York City have to have some type of plan for them to, like, if they get
which
hit.
I had heard that, but it doesn't make any sense. That's the only
so in terms
context that I've heard.
So it would be an incredible undertaking. I will totally admit that. But if you had a city of large skyscrapers and they were very close together in terms of their height, and if one of them fell, it could cause like a reaction of a couple of buildings falling down, which is that's ridiculous.
More loss of life too.
So maybe there's a plan that a lot of people don't know about, where there's pre-planted systems to drop them. Now that's just me being like, let me figure out a logical non-fucking like, I'm a piece of shit, I'm gonna capitalize on destruction. And that would be something that I thought that would lead credence to that other building falling down. They're like, shit, it might knock over another building. But I don't know enough about. I've seen videos for both sides where, all of them are above my. I'm not an engineer, so I'm not
an engineer either.
So
but I am a carpenter.
So I've seen people take.
And I've worked in high-rise buildings too.
I've seen people take these sections of beam and they don't melt them, but they heat them up to a point where they're malleable. And they use that as the reason why the floors fell in the manner they did. Right. But I also will say that when those buildings, when everything started falling down, it did look reminiscent of when they take down a casino in like Las Vegas, or they always had those shows on like the Learning Channel, like how we blow shit up.
Yeah,
it did look reminiscent of that, but I didn't see any of the things that you would see on like a stadium getting knocked down, where you'd see all the explosions on the outside and like brrr, like. But I don't know.
Actually, you did see that in the Twin Towers.
I don't.
I mean, like the Twin Towers, there were explosions coming out right before.
I saw that, but I didn't see it in the same way. And also, I will admit, like that, I remember that day more for. The jumpers. That was the thing that I remember about that day. Like I don't really remember. Like I remember the second plane hitting, because I remember like seeing that live and being like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
And then seeing the people jumping and not really not really wanting to watch too much of it, because like you start to like. I don't know if everybody.
How old were you?
I was just shy of 21.
Yeah, okay. I was 21.
21.
Yeah, so it was definitely like. I remember it I just turned 21. And I remember being in a TGI Fridays, and it was like, that month after you like turn 21, it's like wild, and it was just dead quiet in the bar, and they had it on all the TVs.
Right.
And it was just a bunch of people sitting around drinking and crying.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're showing people like jumping out of buildings so they don't burn, it's like one of those things that I think America definitely was in a state of mourning for like extended period of time.
Sure.
I think all of us were traumatized by a lot of those images, and I think it stopped a lot of people from questioning things for a long time.
Yeah. Although people did question it. I mean,
people questioned it right away, but I'm like the overall thought process of America being like anything other than Osama bin Laden and the Taliban knocked down.
Well, at least in mainstream media, that was the case.
Oh yeah, like
but
I will say, America was a very. We may not have liked each other, but it was people were a lot like nicer to each other. Like I saw a lot of people like opening doors for each other and being like looking at each other in the eye and saying hi and goodbye.
Right.
Shit like that.
Sure. There was that. Yeah,
it brought the world together, or at least the U.S. together a little bit.
Which tragedy does.
Yeah. Like so, it does.
It changed my perspective, because like I can remember that morning clearly, and I usually like. As I've talked to people that say that a plane never crashed into the Pentagon, and I'll say actually did, because I saw it happen. Sure. I was taking I just got to work, and my boss was like, "Man, did you watch this crazy shit? There's a plane just went into one of the buildings in New York." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Oh my God, it happened again." I'm like, "That's crazy. I'm gonna go have a cigarette break," because it wasn't registering how catastrophic. I was just like, "That's fucking crazy. That never happens." So I'm out there smoking a cigarette, and I'm looking over the Potomac, and I see this plane, like this kind of like a little bit lower than it should be, and it was kind of like teetering. I'm like, is he turning around to land? And then the plane disappeared in the tree line, and I felt like this insane like boom, like the pressure of that explosion, like blowing back and mind you, like I'm in Alexandria, across that river, and I was right on Canal Street, and we had a clear view of the Pentagon, just like peeking above that tree line. So when it exploded, like I could feel the pressure, and the windows were like kind of like bowing a little bit. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Did I just watch a plane crash? And then I saw the huge plume of smoke, and my boss came out. She's like, gotta get the fuck out of this building, because we were in a high rise at that time too.
Mhm.
Like, yeah. So it was like, I definitely saw a plane go down
Yeah,
in a building.
my brothers
That's-
were working actually very
Ooh.
close by the Pentagon, and they didn't see the plane, but they,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it just looked weird. It looked like it was
Yeah.
trying to turn around to land, but
right.
missed.
Yeah.
Well, I know they
Yeah.
one of the planes, the people rented cars from Hertz. And my mom used to work at Hertz. She worked for the first morning shift. They had turned the keys into a drop box, but they kept her at work until like 7 o'clock because the FBI came over and interviewed everybody. Like
Right.
they obviously knew where these guys were.
Right.
So I will say that like you can have two things happening at the same time, and I don't think the U.S. would not have contingency plans. So I think, yeah, they could have blown up the buildings, and planes did hit them.
Mhm.
Like it could be both. Like
Right,
I
right.
won't ever
Yeah.
rule out
Which is
totally
what I
conspiracy.
think. That's
if
what I think.
if you say lizard people did it, I'd be like,
Yeah.
nah, that's probably horseshit. But if you said that, like, there's many reasons why the a government, let alone ours, would use even those planes hitting to their advantage in terms of control over like, the populace. So I definitely think that like they did it already. Like they did it with the Patriot Act. No matter what, no matter if there was a conspiracy that they were involved in or not, they did take advantage of a situation to gain more power for the government. But it does.
Well,
there's a lot of
had to do with
anomalies.
oil too. It had to
Oh
do-
yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that you hear that like I guess I'll be honestly never probably put the effort into like different groups were told not to go to work that day and like all these
right.
little things that you hear people say.
Yeah.
Like
Or like where the plane hit in the Pentagon.
Well, no
where
matter
the plane,
what.
Where the plane hit in the Pentagon was exactly the place where
all the
records
buildings were like the
yeah,
day before
the
Rumsfeld was like there's
the $2.7 trillion.
there's a bunch of money missing. I don't know.
That somehow, yeah.
Like
yeah.
that was always the wild shit that Rumsfeld
yeah.
was just like we don't know where it went.
Right,
Like
right,
that
yeah.
much. How you not know where had that much
Yeah.
money?
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, what a coincidence! That's exactly where the plane hit.
But no matter what, let's say like no matter what happened, any way that happened, whether it was like U.S. did it or like there weren't planes, anyway, even if it was just the story that they gave us, it was a conspiracy. No matter what. So
Right,
9/11, no matter what, if somebody says it wasn't conspiracy,
no doubt.
nah, it was. Somebody conspired to knock them buildings down and
Right,
like kill a bunch of people. So,
Well, and why was there so much effort put in to protect the Saudis, right?
yeah, that's a giant thing. The Saudis at our
and
government,
Still, it's an ongoing.
it's that oil money. Like they let that.
Yeah, right.
They're like Khashoggi.
Oil,
Khashoggi.
that's-
Who that is?
Well, if you watch the rest of the talk that I give, I explain why it happened.
I'll watch it.
Because of,
Like I actually, I should have done more show prep, but I like to come
yeah.
in raw.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. My theory on it is that it all had to do with drugs.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Which is-
you were talking your thing about the disruption of the the
Heroin?
global,
the global,
the opioid
Right,
distribution chain.
global
Gets,
opium.
so,
90% of the opium came out of
Man.
Afghanistan, right? And the Taliban was threatening to shut that down.
Ooh, so don't mess with our fucking sweet
So
dope.
yeah, no, and the opium is the capital. That's what feeds the capital markets in the world banking system.
Well, I definitely had heard that the heroin production went down by like 40% once the Taliban
it was
took over.
right. It was really it was a danger. It was endangering
when you
the global banking.
I know they
system.
definitely there was a thing that I think it was Geraldo Rivera did this like on the ground report, and it was U.S. soldiers just guarding opium
Oh,
fields.
right, absolutely,
And that's
absolutely.
all they
there,
were
there
doing.
were pictures in the Washington Post of U.S. soldiers in opium fields. Yeah,
I had somebody I knew that was really like he was a diehard like Obama Democrat, and he
Mhm.
was like after I said that about the opium fields being guarded, he was like they're using it for medicine, and I was like, bro, we can't have this conversation
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, right,
Like,
yeah.
You know what? as almost as controversial as a lot of things that Mike talked about in that video is the clean cut version of Mike that's in that video. It is fantastic, man. Mike at that point in time,
I used to cut my own hair,
dude. He was he's all like, dude. It's like he looks like the dude that's about to tell everybody how to save the world at the end, like when the asteroid's about to come, and he comes running in with a clipboard full of like papers. He's like, hold on, I got this, and everybody's like, oh, dude, this is awesome. Yeah, he looked like that type of scientist back then. He had like, yeah, dude, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
stop the presses.
He's like, hold on, don't shoot the missile yet. I have an idea.
Yeah.
So in
just madness. That's all.
So in the end, who do you think was complicit in 9/11?
Man.
Well, there were a lot of people complicit in 9/11.
If we end up disappeared after this, I'm gonna be so mad. Like when we're riding in the truck together with a bag over our heads, I'm like, "Fucking guys!"
I mean, a lot of people. I mean,
knew
in terms of the
God damn
like,
it! Can we talk about him?
Here's one of the more interesting cases. Van Jones used to talk about 9/11. But he shut up. And that's why he's still on the air, right? But anybody who kept talking about it is not on the air anymore. You can't find my talk. I was amazed. I couldn't find it on Google. Right, I had to go to Bing to find my talk, the talk that I sent to Lita. Right, okay, it's not on Google anymore, and Google has been, has a reputation for suppressing 9/11 stuff.
That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into this more conspiracies. So we got about Mike. We're gonna have you back for the later half of your life.
Oh yeah, we haven't even got to California. California, man. Oh, a beach blanket Babylon goes bananas, man.
Oh, we're gonna start off next time you're on here.
Right,
Beach.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah. No, San Francisco.
Write it down.
Man.
Write it down. So we'll.
Beach blanket Babylon. There's actually a street in San Francisco actually called Beach blanket Babylon Boulevard now.
Oh shit!
Yeah. I'll tell you all about that.
Oh, this is gonna be awesome.
All right. Yeah.
Mike, you're the first
that's
guest.
That's the 70s, man. That's the fucking 70s. All right.
You're the first guest that we're gonna have back to continue your story.
All right. Okay.
So feel proud of yourself.
I'm honored. I'm actually honored. Oh God, I've left so much out.
Well, yeah, definitely. We need to bring the Mikester back on. It was amazing, Mr. Hasty.
Yeah. Well, so I've very much enjoyed. I've never been on a podcast before, so this is my first.
Well, this is your first one on here, and you'll have a second one because we got to finish.
All right, cool. Yeah,
finish.
We need to know what happened.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, I made it. Right here I am.
So where can people get a hold of you for your music and everything else?
So I am at the Chester Street Tavern in Front Royal every Friday from 4:20 to 6:20. I have the happy hour there, and don't be intimidated by the fact that it starts at 4:20. 4:30 was just too late, So and 4 o'clock is way too early. So. And also most Saturdays at noon I'm in the West Main Market Beer Garden in Luray. I won't be there this Saturday, but most Saturdays at noon. I'm from noon to 3. I play there. So
awesome.
So I've got those 2 regular gigs, and then I'm at the Catamount.
Most Mondays.
The September 26th, I'll be at the Catamount.
Ooh.
So I'll be there.
Also,
most Mondays I'm there for the open mic.
But also September 26th, the specific show.
Yeah, my
Mike
show.
Hasty's going to be out there
right,
swinging his thing.
My once a month, appearance at the Catamount. Yeah.
Where can people find you on social media? You got any of those?
Just on Facebook. Actually, is my only thing. Michael Hasty. I'm the guy, the red-faced guy. Actually, it's a friend of mine is named Happy the Artist, and he did this. Portrait of me, and it's the same sketch that they used for the Chester Street Tavern ad. But
awesome.
But that's how you find Michael Hasty, Hasty, which is the Scottish spelling of the name. Oh, I can tell you about that too. Oh yeah. See, the music goes way back. Oh, the Hasties. We were the pipers for the Graham clan. Back in Scotland, 1,000 years ago, right? So,
Mike, dude, Kelly's gonna when next time you see Kelly, when you see her, my wife.
Oh, she's gonna want to kill me?
No, she's not a Highlander. Which
okay.
I was like, there could only be one. She's right now. Kelly's sharpening her sword, like shing, shing.
Glad McLeod.
The Moffat clan will not take. We knew we would find him eventually. Oh, dude, that is fantastic. I was actually about to ask if this motherfucker's a Highlander. Jesus. Oh, my God. That's fantastic. We'll talk about that the next
Check out Mike Hasty on the Facebook.
Yeah, man.
Check out all his dates.
Yeah.
Chris, comedy.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm being lazy this week. I might do something tomorrow. I might not. Other than that, maybe at the Catamount on next Monday. I gotta catch my groove again. I don't know. Anyways, what else is going on that's of notoriety that I forgot to tell you about? Oh man, shout out to Chad the Claw Kenzie for coming over and chopping up a bunch of wood at the crib today. Chad, yeah. Shout out to Deegan Beckelheimer for being a juvenile delinquent, and shout out to Kelly, my wife, for getting ready to take your head off for immortal supremacy. You know what? Have you ever seen Highlander the movie?
I don't know. No, I never have seen it.
Oh my God! So you missed the whole reason we were laughing our asses off about it.
Dude, watch it. It's a historical film about your people.
Oh,
it is. It's a very accurately portrayed. Sean Connery's in it. He's like just slapping every woman that comes in his face.
But he's Spanish.
Scottish, it's crap.
That's a great SNL skit.
Lita's got a lot to talk
Yeah,
about this week.
yes.
Plug
us.
You can check out my artwork on That Is Odd on Instagram. It's all _. I will be at the Leaf Festival this year, slinging my wares. You can purchase one of your own little weird creations by me. I am also putting in 3 pieces at the 10x10 at the art show at the art community center art place. I can't think of the name of it. Sorry, guys. My brain, I'm getting like a little bit of a contact right now, so now I'm like blanking out. So yeah, but you can go there for the 10x10 art show. I think I got to turn that in on the 21st of September. So you can see my artwork there and buy it.
So Stonebridge Art Center for the Arts on Main Street
there you
in
go.
Front Royal, Virginia.
Yes, I'm gonna have 3 pieces on display there, so you can check that out and maybe purchase it. You can also vote for your girl for the new Face of Horror. Go to facesofhorror.org. Cast your vote for me, yours truly. You can vote once for free or purchase more votes. It goes to a good cause. That cause is the Starlight Children's Foundation, and
that's a good one.
Yeah, it is a very good one. It's reputable. So vote for me. Purchase votes for a good cause.
Help kids.
Help little kids out. All right.
Help them kids.
Vote for me. You better
vote.
You better do it.
Vote or die, like Diddy
I am
said.
like final girl vibe right now, so like I got this. As long as you vote for me, anyway.
Yeah.
Peep the art. It's on the table. Go over to @Helltown on everything, on all your socials, on your YouTubes. Also go over to Capital MMA, specifically Loudon. Get right. Learn how to choke people, not get choked. Do some head kicks. Lift some weights. Be your best self. Make your butt look good in your jeans. You could do that. That could be you. You could be that motherfucker with them meaty butt cheeks. That could be you. It's gonna be me.
Mr. Cutlets over here.
Yeah, Cutlet's gonna be fucking ham hocks. They gonna be back there like, wah. No, they ain't gonna be like that. But my thighs gonna be gigantic. Yo, I'm gonna twerk. Remember, it's your week, nobody else's. Fuck the man. He don't care about you. And don't tell me who you voting for. I don't care. They both Bamas.
Bamas.
Have a good week. I love you.
Bye.